Hey guys, welcome back. It's Katy here, Art Director at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Dorchester. I hope everybody is doing well and enjoying this gorgeous spring weather. I'm super excited to be back with another fun, simple art project to do with you guys. You should have access to all these materials at home. So let's go ahead and get started. Today, I'm going to teach you guys how to do a technique called paper weaving. So I'm going to teach you guys how to weave using only paper. So for this project, I like to use a solid piece of paper, but I also like to use patterned paper. So if you guys have patterned paper at home, that is super awesome. Scrapbook paper would work great. Cutouts from magazines would work great. If you don't have access to either of those, you can use plain white paper and draw your own pictures or your own decorations on those. So you're gonna need those materials as well as a pair of scissors. So once you grab all of those materials, we will be ready to get started. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we are gonna choose one piece of our paper. I like to use the solid piece for this step to be our background. So when I say background, I mean the piece that you're gonna be weaving the rest of your paper strips into. So I'm gonna use my solid piece for that, but if you wanna use a patterned piece of paper, you can do that as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold my paper in half. So I'm gonna fold my paper in half, and then I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm gonna start cutting slits into my paper, leaving about a ½ inch on the very top where it opens. So I'm cutting from the side that's folded and leaving about a ½ inch at the top where it opens. So make sure you're doing pretty even. If you have scissors at home that are like zigzag scissors, zigzag scissors, that's funny to say, swirly scissors, anything like that, you can go ahead and use those fun scissors for this. It'll just make your art even more interesting. I just have regular scissors at home though, so that's what I'm using. So I have cut all these strips into my paper. I have left about a ½ inch on top, as you can see, so they're not separating or falling apart. So when I open it up, I'm gonna have something like that. All right, next step, I'm gonna cut slits of my pattern paper, or if you want to use solid paper for this, you can do that as well. So I'm just gonna do a few. I have a couple different colors, so to keep mine interesting, I'm gonna use a few different colors. I'm just going to start with 3 of each for now, and then we'll see if we need to add any more. All right, so now I have my original background piece that's cut and my strips. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to start one strip at a time, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide it underneath the first slit of my orange paper, and then I'm going to pull it underneath the second one, and then I'm going to put it over the third, pull it underneath the fourth, over the fifth, and I'm going to keep doing that until I've gotten it all the way through my background piece. So just like weaving with textiles, weaving with paper is very similar. So as you guys can see, my strips are about the same length as my orange paper, but if yours are a little bit too long, you can just cut them. And I'm actually gonna grab a little glue stick just to glue that in place so that it doesn't move or go anywhere while I'm working on this. So I do recommend gluing these down if you have glue at home or tape or a stapler, just so that they don't slide around. So that we have our first strip. So now I'm going to take another strip. This time I'm going to take another color, and I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do opposite. So I'm going to turn my background the opposite way and work from the bottom up now. Doing the same thing, the same technique, over, under, over, under, over, under, until I make it all the way to the end. Oh, and somehow we ended up the same, but that's where I went wrong. It's a little tricky, but once you get the hang of it, it's really, really neat to do. All right, so there we go. Second piece in. Cool, right? So you can notice it's starting to look a little bit like a quilt. I'm going to glue that piece down. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to go ahead and glue the back of the other piece. And then you're just going to keep repeating this process until you've covered your entire background piece with your strips of paper and created a very cool quilt-like design. You guys can repeat patterns. You can do this completely random, however you prefer. All right, voila, we've got our little paper weaving project. So when you finish weaving your paper through, you can decorate it in any other way that you'd like. Sometimes people like to color around their designs. Sometimes people like to add a quote or some sort of words. So feel free to decorate this in your own creative way. And as always, be sure to share your artwork with us when you're finished so that we can take a look at it and share it with the rest of our community. See you guys soon.